Alrighty, setting up my bag here. Basic ball. Long iron. Maybe B52, just stick with that. Let me switch the claw real quick. I'm going to mess around and tour 11 a little bit. Just try to match up here. Try to get a few games going. Just play around with basic ball for the most part. If we get a real good wind, I'll pull out a few globes or something. Just to mess around a little bit. Oh, yep, okay, good. This is a good hole. Not a good wind though. Should still be able to get over. Might try to hook this a bit. Slice shot. Just missed the other side. Should have put my cataclysm on. Might switch after this match. The cataclysm. It's always nice going basic ball against Kingmaker. Makes things interesting. Just got over the bunker as well. So funny that my basic ball was able to get that much farther than Kingmaker with a Thor 5. Oh, terrible wind. I'm gonna just try to lay it up over here. Figure out a landing zone. Probably maybe about here, and then I'll go 3.5 bullseyes from there. I'll do this landscape mode. So sorry if this is flipping on you guys, but it just helps me get 100% curl to try to keep this out of the rough here. Oh, unlucky there. Alrighty. First thing I try to do is try to figure out where I am. Looks like I'm kind of mid-club here. I like doing about 3 to 4 backspin. I'm going to do more like 3 here, just because it's into the wind and it's not going to want to run out very much. About mid-club here, I'll probably need to go about 10 rings. It's pretty spot on. On top of that, I'm also going to do like a little counter curl to try to straighten out my line. Hopefully get it going a little bit more towards the hole here. Ugh. Pretty nice shot there. Just going a little long. Shouldn't be too bad back there. Should be able to pop that in. A lot of guys using this full topspin method for their pitch game. It's pretty good. It's not as effective on the Endbringer club, but it's pretty good method overall. Ever since they fixed there was like a patch that they did where they talked about some physics changes that they were making. When one of them was like hitting the edge of the collar, they talked about that they were going to fix. And ever since they put that patch in, I find those shots very more reliable. In fact, pitches in general the green just seems to respond a lot better, where you don't get as many of those glitchy. You'll see the ball supposed to go somewhere, and it seems to go there the way that it's supposed to a lot more ever since that last patch. I get a lot of questions about this shootout hole. A lot of guys struggle with it. This is a very challenging one. I'm going to see if I can pull it off. It's going to be hard with basic ball. That's actually well done. That's a good one right there. So I'm going to have to hit a really good shot to beat that with basic ball. The biggest thing is the wind just seems to play more on this hole. So there's actually a couple ways I can beat that. I can beat that over here too. It's going to be a little challenging, but it is doable. So I might just go at it this method. It's probably going to be pretty close to 10 rings at least. Go just a little bit more than that. Didn't want to hit that great ball. Looks like I might just sneak in here. Not bad. I'm going to see if I can't switch to Cataclysm real quick. Make things a little bit more interesting. This club can be a lot of fun, especially you look at the top spin that I have on it, 85. It just takes off. It goes a mile. So let's just switch to that real quick, see if we can't get that to come into effect. Do a couple more Tour 11 here. See if we can't get this downwind. That would be very exciting. I can put a globe for this one. Go for the green. Not quite. Not quite. Almost. If it would have just been pointed a little bit differently, that would have been good enough. I'm going to go with a method that's just kind of beat it the crap down here. And what that allows you to do is if you mess this tee shot up, hopefully it's down there far enough that you can still get out of trouble. It's kind of the way that I look at it when I do this. See, I pulled that one right. Really needed to hit kind of close to perfect there to have that go where I wanted it. But let's see if being over there kind of on that angle, if I can get out of trouble. You really need at least one fairway bounce though for that drive technique that I just used to be effective. I need at least one fairway bounce to get down there far enough. But if the wind is favorable, I can get creative. And that's kind of what I mentioned. He just hit the ball far enough there that even though he's in trouble, it's not going to matter. And I did not get the wind, so we're going to have to just play this cautiously. I always try to check the fairway to see how much it's rolling out. I don't really need all this roll out, so I might just take off a little just to make sure. And at least maybe 7 rings here. See if I can't make the pitch from there. And this is kind of what I was mentioning here. When you get downwind on this hole, it's a good method to play this. Because if you try to play this with precision, not enough power, you can get into trouble. But you see the way that he drove it into trouble. But still plenty of club to get to the green here. So it makes for an easy, recovery. So it looks like I'm just out of end mirror distance. At min club, this plays about 3 per ring for my claw. So I will be very close to going 5 rings here. I might just overcorrect just a little bit because since it's so left to right, it's going to make, after the ball lands, it's going to hop much more right. So I need to go more than 5 rings here. Let's see what shootout hole we can get this time. See if I can't come away with another win. It's going to be a little bit harder on a mummy ball because he has like 45% reduction. I am glad that he's going first. Depending on how close he gets here, might dictate the way that I choose to go. If he hits a ridiculous shot in there about a yard, I'll probably just go island. So at 45% reduction, I'm probably looking at about a 14 side wind for my basic ball here. That looks pretty good. Let's see if it takes all that hill. I don't usually see guys quite play it like that. So let's see. Now I can go this way, and if I pull it off, it'll be in there closer. But I also do have a good wind. This is probably the only wind that I could consider going this way and actually be effective. So I might just do that. What I'm going to do is there's about 10 rings. There's about 13, 14. I'm going to probably go here with about half power or so. Ah, that might be too left. Let's see. It's going to be too high. It's got to hit the hole or else I lost, basically, when you go that high. It's too much power. I had to guess too much. It's kind of a complicated shot. Here we're grabbing the same guy. This is one of my more favorite holes, but it can also be very frustrating. Let's see what kind of wind we can draw. As bad as possible. Can't even consider going for that other shot over there. Too much into the wind. Can't hop that bunkers. I had to play it a little bit safer there out to the right to make sure, since it was such a into the wind, I needed to make sure that first bounce didn't hit the left rough there. Because if I hit that left rough, it might have been too far back from the hole if it stayed in the rough. So I had to be a little careful. So the first thing I usually do is I try to size the shot up distance-wise, but I know that since it's into the wind, it's not going to want to run out as far as it shows. So if I put this over the green for my shot setup, when I actually hit the shot into the wind, it won't go that far. You see I'm going into a little bit of power here. Let's see if I can't get this somewhere I need. Pulled it about 3 rings, it looked like, to the left. So it kind of shot out, restricted, coming back. And just kind of shot out to the left there. Couldn't quite get it back to the hole without going more perfect. was close. Just left that short. Another shootout. You see what I did with that putt? I just kind of cheated to the left. I sometimes release early on my putts, but I'm very consistent with releasing early, so I'll keep it on the left of the hole. In case it misses, it'll go right, and it'll be more center in the hole. It still goes in. Oh, lovely. Island shot with my cat is a little bit harder. And now it's going to be straight downwind too on top of that. The island shot's really challenging when it's downwind, and it's going to be extremely impossible for me because my wind is going to be 18. His is 9, so he's going to be able to stop the ball. I'm not going to be able to stop the ball going the island way, so I can't even consider that as an option. This hole is going to be very, very challenging with that much downwind. It's probably the only wind that I couldn't have got to really compete too well with this guy, so I'm going to have to do something pretty creative to even have a chance on this hole because he's going to be in there so tight. So let's see if I can't get this. It's going to have to be more luck than good here. Because I can't stop the ball off the island. So that's why you see me doing this here. I gotta size the shot up real quick just to see where I'm at. Of course, pulling back the min club, you're not gonna be able to pull back as much. I'm thinking about pulling back 11, 12 rings, somewhere in there. See if this is somewhere around where I need it. It might be too much. Yep, that's too much. It was very, very impossible to beat that shot that he hit. He got the best wind to make me have to, because if I would have went island no matter what, I couldn't have stopped the ball. So, not much of a chance there without a decent ball. I needed at least a 25 reduction ball, or else I wouldn't have been able to get it inside of his yardage there going that way. Let's see if I can draw an opponent here. So many guys play in the tournament, so this is actually kind of hard to do. Southern Pines Park. This is the hole that I like. I've been waiting for a wind to get on this hole. I've been waiting for this one to be straight at the hole, and there we got it. But I don't think that's quite the angle that I needed. But this is the wind that I've been waiting for. The only thing I'm missing is I needed a little bit more to the right as opposed to the left, because this hook shot you're about to see me hit is probably going to be a little bit countering the wind because it's pointed to the left and not straighter to the right. I've been waiting for it to get this wind on the right so I can launch this very far. You're going to see my drive. Hopefully, I pull this off. It is going to go very far, extremely far. So, I have been waiting for this moment, but like I said, I just need that, I believe, a little bit more right to get more yards than because I don't think I'm going to be able to hit this quite as far as I want because of that problem. But I'm going to do it like that first drive, if you guys were in here, where I go landscape mode here. It's going to be about, I usually go about there, but I'm going to go more because this shot's going to be more downwind. Ah, it hit the bunker. Jeez. If I can find a way to miss that bunker, and like I said, if it gets a little bit more pointed to the right, to where I can get up into that other fairway, kind of where he's aiming here, because it'll take more of that curve, I'll be able to go for kind of a distance record. But I just needed to angle just a little bit more right there to be able to pull it off. $19 downwind, this is crazy. So this about 5 rings, you can see I can go about 5 rings for power here. So I'm going to basically assume that I'm taking off these 5 rings, and then on top of that I'm going to start to correct on top of that, and I'll go back at least another 10 rings for this minimum. I need to go at least 15 here. Perfect ball. Didn't quite put enough hook on it. It looks like I had the power about right. This green can be pretty tricky with all the slope. I was really hoping to see this hole in the tournament. This is the one that I wanted to see downwind. I would have much rather had this than like the Oasis par 5. And here we're coming back to this hole with globes. This is going to be real interesting. Let's see what the, that's a good wind. This hole's even easier with Cataclysm here, because when you're at max club like that, you know, Guardian, Cataclysm that have a lot of distance, 180, 179, you can go more towards the bunker and hit it with backspin, and you can usually hit this one very close, or at least reasonable enough to win the shootout, having this bag over Sniper or and that's a very good shot. Let's see if I can't get inside that one. Like I mentioned though, it makes it even easier when you have this bag to pull that shot off, because you can just kind of stop it more on the hole. Can't believe I shot that out that left that far. Yeah, I thought for sure that was good. I would have curled it, but I didn't think it needed it. And of course, if my aim, it looked like I just aimed too much, which usually on that hole, the wind plays very much more. So for instance, my accuracy number is like 1.8, but I was playing it more like 1.2 per ring there. Just ended up going too much. This is one of the holes that I really like for having the advantage with like Cataclysm or my Hammerhead that have like a little bit more power than guys that are usually using their sniper, is because I can go out to the left fairway over there, and if I get downwind, I can reach the green from that left fairway, whereas sniper can't on most winds. Now, if it got, of course, if it was straight down, they'd still be able to, but here I'm going to just try to ride the wind as best as I can. The shot can be very challenging to do the hook shot. I'm going to try my best to play the wind here. I'm just going to use like a counter curl method for this shot. I did something completely wrong there. There's no reason it should have shot in between. I think I only played the wind there. That's what I did. I played about 19 rings for the wind, and then I didn't add on top of that for my hook, for whatever reason. Going with the safe shot, I guess. See if this guy can't pop this one up here. The slope can be really challenging when you're at an angle in that bunker. When I try to hit that bunker, and if I can't get over it, I try to, get it as far up there as possible, centered. It makes the pitch a lot easier. So here I'm more at min club distance, right towards the iron. Should only need to go about 6 to 7 rings here. And I try to play this a little cautiously, because if you start swinging it real hard, you start bringing the bunker into play if you're not real careful. So you see I just kind of shoot that one out to the side there. And let's see what we can get for a shootout hole here. So the way I play this one depends entirely on the wind. The way that I've been playing it with this wind is right off this speck right here. And it's kind of a risk-reward shot here. I'm right at max club. But when you pull this off, it is a very great shot. So I like to point it just a little bit more right. Here I'm going to go right around 10 rings, I believe. Do it with just a touch of curl here. I hope that great ball doesn't cost me. Just caught it. Just caught the edge. So I needed just a touch bit more curl there. But you can see just kind of how effective that shot can be. Ooh, wow, look at that. That's crazy. So he hit it in there way too hard. If it doesn't hit the hole, I win. It basically 360s goes perfectly back up the hill right in to beat me. Just kind of the breaks sometime. Didn't get the wind again. This is going to be a risky shot. I'm going to do it anyway. See, that's kind of the preferred method to go. If you can get over there, definitely, take off some yards, makes it easier to come in on this hole. I wouldn't necessarily say that we had the perfect winds to actually go for that shot, though. So I'm going to see if I can't play it off the fringe here. I usually put backspin on, but I'm not going to need it since it's so into the wind here. In fact, I might just ever so slightly just point it up too, just to be on the safe, cautious side here. Ooh, man, how'd that land that short? Should be able to get that pitch. I wasn't even towards max club. I was surprised that came up that short. I probably went right around 16 rings there on a 16 wind. It just goes to show you when it's straight in your face how much that just kind of amplifies the wind. But it should be good. You just have to get it up there somewhere. It's a very tricky one to make with this hill that they got on this hole. The best approach that I usually get is when I'm on the right side of this fairway. So I like being able to go the other way over here when you can get to the right of the trees on the other side instead of where we drove it to the left. You have a much better angle to go at the hole to possibly make it. Now, of course, when you're here, always go for the dunk. And I'm just going to try to size it up distance-wise to try to fit. I'm about a quarter club, which when you look at this, it will be about 4 rings or so. But you can see how small my bullseye is in here. So, 4 rings is so little. It's about that. You can see how little I'm playing this. And of course, a 1-ring shank isn't going to make a big difference when you're in there that tight and the bullseye is so short. So, as long as you get it pretty centered on the hole, you have some margin for error. As long as your accuracy is, about 100, you're good to go. .4. That's probably the hardest wind for me to hit that curl shot. So I like to just mess around here from time to time, especially on tricky winds here. So let's make sure all that spins on there. It is. I'm close to min club here. Scoop it out. Almost got it. That would have been an epic hole-in-one. This is very hard with a POC 5. I don't believe he can get it to the hole. He's going to have to jam it full, and I don't think it's enough downwind. I have not seen one get to the hole yet with an epoch 5. You need at least an epoch 6 or Thor. It usually comes up short. And there you're seeing it come up short. That was still well done. So let's see if we can't get some fun wins. Here's one. I am not really too familiar with how to play this shot though. So you're going to have to wish me some luck on this one because I don't expect much. I don't know if this is enough to get to the other side. We're going to have to just find out the hard way. Just short. Just short. So I believe it's enough wind if it's pointed more down. But I've really never played this hole with a globe for my own benefit. Everything I know about this shot comes from just watching other people who have posted videos on the shot, so not something I know a whole bunch about. Nice drive there. Every time I put a globe on, it makes it harder for me to play the wind because I think the ball goes up in the air a lot higher. It makes your adjustments a lot more challenging, at least for me. Just trying to size up the club here. I'm going to try my best to try to get this one. I usually go at it with maybe like 3 backspin. I'm only going to use 2 here. And that has more to do with the effects, the wind effects, just kind of pushing the ball. You could see it was a little right to left. So that just kind of shows to you guys that when it's pointed in another way, even if it's only a little, it's the wind intensity is so strong that it's just kind of drifting the ball to the left. Now there is a little bit of break on that green there, where you could see it go a little right to left, but you could just kind of see the way my ball was hopping. Every bounce, it was just kind of drifting a little bit more to the left. A little bit having to do with the slope, but also having to do with just being that much into the wind in that direction. Coming up on 50 minutes here. Not too bad. A little unexpected live stream here. Just wanted to kind of check things out here on here. Make sure that I can even figure out how to do live stream on YouTube. Just to make sure that I could get this video up. This is more of kind of a test feed for you guys. I'm contemplating possibly going live with my final round on the tournament and I just kind of wanted a test feed here for you guys. And I wanted to test out the audio, make sure all that's good, and just kind of put together something where you can see kind of some crazy shots too. And here, with this wind, I can actually go for this island, but it's going to be very challenging. I am going to go at it with about 4 backspin and about 4 sides. You can see I have it about 4 back, 4 side here, and hopefully can land it pretty centered on the island. Of course, I'm at min club. It's 5 rings. I kind of need to spin this, so this is actually becoming a very challenging shot. Hopefully I still have that correction about right and I still hit the island. Geez, looks pretty good. Pretty centered for the most part. You see, even with that 4 side wind, still left of the hole. Now, I didn't land centered. If I would have landed centered, it would have been pretty spot on. But that just goes to show you the wind effects and how important it is when it's swinging right to left. That just shows you the intensity that it actually swings at. And you see, this is going to be a much easier shot for my opponent here. You know, every little bit of wind is very crucial. So if you can have 11 versus 15, it's just that much more easy. But it doesn't mean, just because of that you know, you still need to execute. You would still need to hit as good as I just aimed there, minimum, to pull off this shot here. And there you're seeing he's much more centered, but you're seeing that just that post ball effects drifting his ball, because he didn't really put much right spin on that. It just wasn't enough to counter it. Can do at least another hole for you guys. I need another pin chest anyway. Just kind of messing around here in Tour 11. Basic ball for the most part. For all of you who might have just been recently joining this video. Just kind of messing around here. Southern Pines won. This is in the tournament. Let's hope we get a tournament win here. Nope. I was really hoping to go that right method for you guys. Won't be able to do that here. So let's see if I can't just thread this up here. 18 miles per hour on this hole for this tee shot. I'll usually go about, 18 rings. I'm going to go a bunch. Of course, on top of that, I'm not really going to use much power. Just going to use ever so slightly some curl. Just try to straighten it out. With the way that you can see the way that the hill's kind of getting it. So the hill comes back to the left on here. So I was hoping that all those wind effect and plus my curl would just kind of straighten it out. And you see, for the most part, my ball just kind of shot down there straight. Kind of exactly what I was hoping for there. So let's see if this guy can't bend this one around here. A little bit more aggressive. You're not dead there, but it's going to be a little bit of a challenge for him. A lot of times you can actually find some, when you get real close to those trees like he just did, you can find a couple holes that you can, and especially the way that wind's pointed, he'll be good. At least have a shot anyway. Now what I'm going to try to do here, first I'll try to just size the hole up. I'm going to do this with more of a curl method. And just try to figure out where my second bounce is. I'm going to try to make that second bounce be about the same distance like with where the hole is. I'm trying to make it land about the hole. And then go, I'm getting towards min club here, about 6 rings. Just trying to, just caught the rough. Jeez. Just needed a little bit more curl on that. It had so much backspin and bite that if it would have hit that fairway, it was going to keep, the momentum was going to keep going right there. I only hit that rough by about an inch there, and if it wouldn't have hit there, it would have kept going towards the green. So it was ever so close there. But the pitch shouldn't be too hard from there anyway. Hopefully I can probably still figure something out. And this is kind of what I was mentioning there. You can kind of see that he has a little bit of a gap. What I would do is I would just point it in that gap. Let's see if we can't get this to twist around on there. Nah, rough. But again, if you can hit your perfect ball, this pitch, both these pitches are basically not a lot of work. You just need perfect ball. I'm not even going to play the wind. I mean, you can see that. I just want to give you kind of a side view. You can just see how low that ball is to the ground. Wind never touches it. Same thing if you're down in the bunker there by the water. The wind just never touches the ball. Didn't quite hit my perfect ball, but it's so short that a lot of times, especially with backspin, is you can get it to kind of check and play some of that break, and it'll still come back in. See if you can't pop this in there. Up, that's kind of the harder way to miss. Let's see if you can get it. Yep, you just got it. It can be harder to get it to come back that way, but since he had the speed perfect, it went right in. This is one of the, so two things here. One of the harder holes for basic ball, 1A. And 2, if you have basic ball, that wind probably is about the hardest to pull this shot off, because I can't get the ball right enough without going landscape. And I'm not sure how much, if I go landscape mode to get more of my full curl here, I might end up over curling it. So I kind of gotta, the screen is going to turn sideways after I set it up, but I'll try to set it up first. There's almost no way I'm going to be able to beat this guy's shot with basic ball. I'm going to really have to pull something out here. The hardest thing is just trying to figure out how much curl is right. So I'm going to go at it with about 4 backspin here. I'm going to set up to be a little bit higher on the hill. Right about 10-ish rings, I think, for my setup. And like I mentioned, it's going to turn after I do that. I'm not going to be able to go forward. It's not enough. Just coming up short. I needed a little bit more curl than that. Of course, there I get my pin chest and bringer card. Can't use it. Let's keep going here, see if they can't give me some more interesting wins. You get another hole or two for you guys. I'm right at an hour here. See if I can't make a little bit of a comeback here. It's very, very challenging, as you can see, tour 11 with basic ball. It can be a bit of a brute to try to maneuver through this tour with any real success in basic ball. Now I will be able to do it from time to time. That wind is just going to be green light all the way. I still have yet to successfully hit one where I want to win like this. But I'm going to do the best that I can here to do something here. I'm going to do this with kind of full top spin here, straight as opposed to an angle. I'm just going to try to counter curl it back and try to shoot that fairway up there if I can't. There's a bunker up here that I've usually hit. I try to thread it through and shoot it up that right side. It just caught the edge of it. I haven't pulled off that drive yet. But you see, you can just pound it way down there. I really don't. It's really a huge luck factor, because even if I miss that bunker there, it's just going to run into the rough anyway. But it'll be another 40 yards down there. But if I hit that bunker just right and it pops right out onto the fairway, I should be able to get to the green from there. I sometimes do this with a hook. The problem with this hook is I usually end up overhooking it, and then once it shoots towards that bunker when I do it. If the wind would have been a little bit more pointed, straight, I would have went for the hook method, just like you just saw him do. I would have did the same thing, but we didn't have the wind pointed the right direction. Now, let's see if I can pull this off. I'm going to try to get it up close to the green here. I'm going to see if I can't play this a little bit better. So first I'm going to play the wind, about 10 rings, so I'm just looking at my bullseye. And that's about just for the wind, where I need it. And then on top of that, I'm going to go 3 bullseyes, somewhere around here. That's what I didn't do last time. If you were here for that other full hook shot, because I think I only played the wind and then didn't actually do the curl back. And there you have it. I got to the last fairway here. Now, when you're playing these pitches, the hardest thing is figuring out what's going to happen after the... Now, we are lucky that it's not, a full side wind, but when you have the side wind, the way that the ball comes in, you have to end up playing a couple extra rings on these pitches in order to get them to remain on line of the hole here. So here I'm right about a half club, which means I might go around... like a 10 ring adjustment, and of course I want to make sure that my ball trail is plenty past the hole, because it's not going to want to run out after it gets affected by almost 20 in the face. I'm going to go about 10 rings there. And like I mentioned, it's not going to, you can see it right there, it's coming up short. It's just not enough. It's the effects of the wind just restricting that ball. I should have set up even farther than that, but I did keep like an extra 2 yards past the hole for my ball trail. It still wasn't enough. It still didn't run out. And one of the things that's nice about the Nirvana is you don't have to worry about that so much, because of what I was mentioning with the other shot, is how low it stays to the ground. It doesn't get as high into the wind when you're using those rough irons. So a lot of times you don't have to worry too much about the post effect on those short pitches anyway. You still have to for the long full pitches, but when you just have a nice short one like that, you usually don't have to worry about it too much, which is nice. Back to this hole. Nice little wind, I'm sure. Oh yeah. Fun stuff. So, what to do? I can go to this spot, but it's kind of risky. I can go over here. If I play this shot, I need to play it maybe at least 12 rings minimum. I'm running out of time here. Just got it off. Let's see if I put enough curl on that. Nope. It looks like I landed a little bit short. I had to scramble there to get my adjustment in. I was running out of time trying to figure out, because I was thinking about going for the driver shot, and did not go that route. Now I kind of wish I did, because I would have been a lot closer. But I was really hoping to not mess that up. It looks like I went too far on my adjustment. That's the second time that I went over. So it looks like I'm just kind of forgetting a little bit on these Tour 11 shots with Cataclysm. I've been playing with Hammerhead pretty much exclusively for about a month yet, just waiting for my Cataclysm to get up to a 7. So coming back, trying to remember Cataclysm is obviously not going so well for me, because my corrections seem to be just ever so slightly off. I think I've messed up at least 3 Cataclysm shootouts so far. I haven't even got to take advantage of one shootout with one hole. So when you get onto the par 5s, Cataclysm is a huge advantage. I can usually beat guys outright because they have sniper, and I'll beat them outright with Cataclysm because I can drive it so far with my Apocalypse, and then after that I can usually get to the green even when the wind is in the face, even with it has so much topspin, and since I'm 30-40 yards farther, I can just really beat it down there. So let's go for this right method over here. See if I can't pull this off. I need to play it about, make sure about 12 rings at least is clear. And I'm going this way. You see I'm going to put some curl on it as well. Hopefully the great ball doesn't cost me, and it does. So just ever so slightly, I great balled it back to the left. Didn't quite have enough hook. The shot's actually a little bit easier with a POC 5 or a POC 4 because you don't have as much topspin. What the topspin does is it makes it project more towards the bunker, straight ahead. So I hit that bunker more times than I used to with a less driver because it doesn't have quite as much topspin. The shot's a lot easier when you have less topspin because it doesn't project forward as much. It still goes to the right and usually shoots right of that bunker. Whereas mine, if I don't hit mine perfect when I use the full topspin, I've been hitting that bunker more times than not. And let's see what we can get with our wind here. A decent wind. Oh my God. I don't even know what to do with that. That is nuts. So obviously can still get to the green. I'm worried about getting to the green because probably going to hit this too far. Just coming up short. Pretty good line though. So what I did is I played my hook shot, which means I'm going to need to play off the left of my bullseye there for a hook like that. And I'm just trying to visualize the wind kind of pointed in the direction. And then on top of that, I went about 3 entire full bullseyes to the right. And then, as you saw, I just curled it back and full, shanked the ball to the left. And, it works out with some practice. It's pretty spot on for sand shots there. About 3 entire bullseyes worth for your shank. So something that, I feel like with some practice you guys can do. Let's see if this guy, it's a little bit harder going at it this way, especially see how the wind's pointed left to right. I think you could still pull it off this way, but it's just harder to get it back left enough. So let's see how this guy does this. And that's kind of where you're seeing it come to the right. It doesn't have enough hook to get over there. That's kind of the problem with that method. And that's the reason that I kind of like that other technique. And again, when I'm sizing these up, I'll find where max club is, and I'm just going to kind of size it up. It's again about a quarter distance, which, at 4, 3-4 rings, kind of very similar to that last one if you saw me do. I only need to put this right on the edge of the cup. See, that's about 4 or 5 rings already. So, that's plenty for this pitch. The most important thing when you're doing dunks, make sure that your bullseye, when you pull back, that little bullseye circle where you place the ball is dead center. That's the only time that I see guys make mistakes is they might put it towards the front or they'll pull it back too far. And those are usually the only times that I see dunks missed. So it's just a good little trick to try to keep in mind when you're pulling off those shots. The only other thing that I see is guys will think that the wind is going to affect the ball more than it is. You see, I'm in there tight enough. It doesn't matter what, even if the wind says 20, like I'm not freaking out that the wind's going to push my ball when I'm in there tight to the hole, less than a quarter of a club out. So what you saw me do there at the beginning is I kind of went to max club, pulled it back, and I could see, well, I'm no more than a quarter club. And when I'm in there a quarter club, it means I can keep it inside the hole. So let me do one more hole for you guys real quick here. I'm going to clear out another silver chest. Hopefully the very last one, they'll give me a gold. Hopefully I pull off the victory. Same guy. Let's see what we got here. Sunshine Glaze. I wonder if this is going to be the tournament one. I don't know the holes too well. Nope, it's the other one. Wow, we got the win though. I think this is more in the right direction, whereas last time it wasn't. I think it was pointed a little more right than that last time. I think if I pull out a globe this time, I think 25% more of that, that's going to push it out to about 16 at least, 16, 17. That's going to be right where I need it. To pull out my globe. See if I can't get it up there. See, he, with his tee shot, used every last bit of fairway that he had to offer there. There we go. This time it is straight. So I am a little worried. You know, every time that I have a POC 7, I just start to get a little nervous. So I'm going to take off some spin here. And I'm going to do it with a hook. You see, this is kind of the line that has where it's kind of going towards the hole. But I want to hit it more out towards this opening fairway and kind of bring it back. So I'm going to kind of try to do that. Just because there's more fairway to land it on. And there you have it, right up there, 509. Little pitch, not bad. The only thing I worry about going at it with a with kind of my full top spin there is I worry about it missing that rough patch and then just kind of shooting OB long. I'm not necessarily sure that that would happen because I haven't really done that shot much. The only thing that I know about this hole in terms of using globes is what I've seen in videos. Those are probably my first 2 globes I've probably hit on this hole. I don't usually get the wind downwind. I don't even usually get this hole. I get a lot of the other ones. They'll give me like Southern Pine holes, or I'll get the Sunshine Glade par 4. I'm surprised we didn't get that. I get that all the time. The drivable par 4. Let's see if I can't pop this one up in. Get a gold chest this time. Even better, hopefully a platinum. I haven't got a platinum in a long time. Let's see what we're at here. There's max. Again, I mean, there's, you know, a quarter right there. I'm going even less than that. I'll go at this the pitch way. But it's kind of, let me just kind of show you this. So again, like, you know, you saw I was less than quarter club here. So it's like a 4-ring adjustment, for example. Let me just show you what kind of 4 rings looks like. Barely out of the hole. And I'm going to move it up just a tiny, just to make sure that I don't end up short on this pitch. And again, just make sure that you're never short hitting those. You don't want it to come up short. Same with long. You don't want it to land long and then not take that break that you kind of saw on the setup. So you just want to be very careful with where you're pulling the club back to. And there you see I got the gold chest. Looks pretty good. And aside from that, yeah, I'm going to close this video down. But like I mentioned, this was just kind of a test run. I just kind of wanted to see how this works in YouTube. And potentially going to be streaming my final round for the tournament live on YouTube. So if you guys are interested, you might want to pay attention. I might even make an announcement because I don't know specifically when I'm going to play my round, either tomorrow or Sunday, but just something to keep in mind is it's quite possible that I'm going to just go at it live this time and just see how that works. Be kind of my first live tournament. This is only my second live stream. The other one isn't on here, so I just wanted to kind of a test feed, make sure the video quality is good, make sure that the audio quality is good, and yeah, if you guys haven't subscribed to my channel already or have any other questions or anything, feel free to drop it into the video, and I'll try to check out what you guys have to say. And good luck with your Tour 11 play. If you guys have been practicing in Tour 11, or if you haven't got there yet, you know, I have a lot of demonstrative videos that you can check out on YouTube. Hopefully you can get to Tour 11 and you know, close out the max trophies. So good luck, everybody, and I'll see you guys on the next live feed here.